here we have 5 countries whose population is given to us and whose literacy rate is given to us, which means putting these two together we can find the total number of literates, and the number of women per 1000 men is given. So, which means for every 1000 men there are 970 women, so on and so forth in each of these countries. So, using these two we can find out the number of men and women in each of these countries, and then we have the percentage of rural population, from which we can find out the rural population of each country, and also by subtracting from 100 we can find out the urban population. Now, let us look at the first question in this set. What is the approximate number of women in the country which has the second highest number of men among the given countries? Now, second highest number of men. Now, very clearly, as you can see from the table, these are the 3 countries which have the least population, and the population here is 3 times of this and almost double of this. So, this is the country which would have the highest which has the highest population, therefore, which will have the highest number of men and women. Now, how can I neglect this? I can kind of neglect this because this is very close to 1000, which means the number of men will be almost equal to the number of women. Yes, there will be some difference, but then it is close enough to be neglected because these 3 countries are way away from these 2 countries, which means these are the 2 countries which will have the highest population, second highest population, highest men, second highest men, highest women, and second highest women. So, therefore, if the question is which is the country which has the second highest number of men, then we can answer this, but then we need to find out the population. So, what we need to do is we need to multiply the population to use these numbers and multiply them to get the exact number of women. So, how do we get the exact number of women? So, just in case if we are in doubt, we better do it for both these countries. So, how do we do it for country A? For country A, 1321 is the population given, 1321, and we need the number of women, and the number of women will be 970 out of men plus women, which will be 1970. That is for this country. Similarly, for the second country, it is 1501 into we have a 951 here divided by 1951. So, as you can see, both these are almost half. This is also almost half and this is also almost half. So, the number of women will be half of 1321 and here it will be half of 750. So, the answer will be this value, which will be 650 lakh. Which country has the least number of literate women among the countries listed? Now, on the face of it, it looks as if we cannot find the answer for this question, and what adds to our troubles is also that there is a cannot be determined given as the answer. Now, why is it possible that we cannot find the answer for this question? Because we have the literacy percent, and literacy percent, for example, 70% of them of the population is literate, but then within that population who is literate, what is the number of men and women? That breakup has not been made available to us. We do not know the literate men and literate women. We can't break this number any further because there is no data available, and this question is asking about the least number of literate women. Now, on the face of it, as I said, therefore, we cannot determine the answer. However, if you again notice the population, the populations are very far away from each other. There is a 251 and there is an almost double, more than double 540 and more than triple 832, and this 1501 is 6 times that of 241. So, if you take this country, the number of literates in this country will be very, very low compared to the literates of these other countries. So, therefore, this will be the country which will have the least number of literates and also the least number of literate women. Therefore, only because of such huge variations in the population, we can answer this question. Had the populations been closer to each other, the answer for this question should have been cannot be determined. Women form approximately what percent of the total population of the 5 countries? Now, the answer for this question would have been a straight 50 had the number of women and men been equal in all the countries. Had the number of women per 1000 men been 1000 across, then the answer for this question would have been a straight 50. But then it is not equal, therefore, it is not 50, which means the number of women, the percentage of women has to be less than the percentage of men. So, very clearly the 51 there in the options is ruled out. We need to look at 45, 47 and 49. But then you also need to understand that while the number of women is lower than the number of men, the number is not very far away. For every 1000 men, the farthest country is at 950, which means let us assume for a moment that a country has only 1000 men and 950 women. If this country has only 1000 men and 950 women, then the percentage of women will be 951 divided by 1951. Now, 951 by 1951, if you look at try and divide this, you see that this is very close to 50, and therefore, the answer for this question has to be, without any calculations, 49. Now, how can I say that this is 49? I can say that this is 49 because we have taken the country with the worst gender ratio, worst ratio of women to men. Now, if we look at all the countries and put them together, the ratio would only increase. So, it will only be more than 951 by 1951. So, therefore, even if we take the worst value, we will get a very high value which is close to 49. So, therefore, the answer for this question has to be 49 and not 45 or 47. The urban population of country A exceeds the urban population of country E by approximately. Now, how do we find out the urban population? We have the total population and we have the rural population. So, 100 minus this percentage of rural population will give us the percentage of urban population. So, the urban population of A will be 1321 into 55%, and this exceeds the urban population of country E. So, that will be 832 into 100 minus 42, which is 58%. Now, this simple calculation will give us the answer as 244 lakh, option C.